Okay, sports fan. So I literally just turned off the record button for the positive action plan. I didn't want that to go on forever or be longer or have a lot of unrelated content. Although, as I said in that video, it seems amazing to me how it's so similar, how that paragraph today applies a lot to what I'm going to talk about today. So as of today, or as of yesterday, really, TTK, the Guesthouse, and the restaurant, now it's the Pie Sausage House, it used to be TTK, that I bought back in December of 2019. I committed to buy it. I took it over in April of 2020. Now, the minute I say April 2020, the first thing you think of is Corona, COVID-19. And with good reason, because it was front and center in the news. It caused lockdowns, which hurt restaurants, small businesses. It hurt, the guest house was closed down either 2 or 3 months. I don't remember which one. But there was a while where we had zero income coming in from the guest house, and obviously that hurt. What I bought was a thriving business, and more importantly, the business was reliant on what they call farang here in Thailand. And what I mean by that is we serve Thai food as well as Western food. And we serve Western food because that's what farang tourists like from outside the country, not expats. It's important to note that there's people who live here in Chiang Mai. There's a ton of expats. Those guys are different. I've explained in other videos how 1,000 baht, which is $30 in the US exchange rate, has grown in value in my perception, my perceived value. The buying power of 1,000 baht has changed for me personally from $20 US, even though the exchange rate's always been right around 30. I thought of it as a $20 bill. You pull the 1,000 baht out of your wallet and you break it like a 20. You get change, you spend that, you pull another 1,000 baht out, right? So when I got here, November of 2019, 1,000 baht was the same in my mind as a $20 bill US. And as I've stayed here, obviously the exchange rate has gone up and down a little bit, but it's still basically $30 per 1,000. Now I see it more based on what it buys. She's really doing this now. She went to do wash, and I had hoped that I'd have 5 or 10 minutes to talk to you guys, but a little busy bee has to be a little busy bee. So, and I get it, because the shop is closed, we're packing up, and it needs done, but it could have been some better timing. Like we have 2 days really. The only thing we have to pack up now is what the movers are going to take today, so it's negligible, but whatever. Stay positive, Greg. So anyway, the difference between when I say farang, I mean outside tourists. And so we serve Western food, which outside tourists like. We serve Mediterranean food. We serve the sausages from around the world, and we also serve Thai food for some people. Hey, I'm in Thailand. I want to eat Thai. Well, our Thai food downstairs is completely different than real Thai food, street Thai food. You with me? When I make my videos on this channel about Thai food, it's from the vendors, it's from the real people, Now we had 2 Thai cooks, but it's farang Thai food. It's like when you eat Mexican food in the United States, with the exception of some parts of California or Texas, it's not real Mexican food. It's American Mexican food. It's fake Mexican food. It tastes good. I love it. I used to eat fake Mexican once a week minimum. I love it, but the stuff we eat is not authentic Mexican food, unless you're, like I said, in one of those border areas, right? So same thing. It was fake Thai food. And pad Thai, which is a very American Thai food to have because it's very approachable, accessible. Noodles, peanuts, some kind of protein, usually shrimp for Americans. They get the most expensive, whereas here they usually have chicken because chicken's cheaper. You see that the Thai people think completely different than Americans, Australians, British, etc. So for our Americanized pad Thai, we charged 80 baht. Now, you're at home going, man, less than $3 for a big old plate of pad, and it's huge. It's a huge freaking plate of food. And you're thinking, oh my God, that for $3 US, which is 900 baht. So it's less than $3. It's $2.66 for a huge plate of pad Thai. You're happy Because home, you're paying 10 bucks, 12 bucks, whatever, a plate, depending upon the restaurant you go to. Maybe you found a cheap place, you live in a bigger city, and you can get it for 6 bucks or 8 bucks. But certainly you pay more than $2.66 for a huge portion of pad thai with shrimp, right? Because even there, it's more money for shrimp than chicken, right? So that's who ate here. That's who ate at the restaurant, is foreigners from outside the country who were staying in our guest house. And they would gladly pay 80 baht. A Thai would cut their left hand off before they paid 80 baht for pad thai. Why? Because 2 blocks away, you can get arguably better pad thai, not the American version, but real pad thai, authentic, for 40 baht or 30 baht. Hell, I've seen it in Chiang Mai sometimes for 20 baht. I mean, if you're a local or an expat who knows the local ways, and the perception of 1,000 baht has grown because you've lived here, like what's happened to me, then you don't want to pay 80 baht. So we had some bikers come up from Chiang Mai and stay in the hotel. And I'm like, what beer do you guys drink? Leo, big Leo. There's Chang, Leo, and Singha. Those are the 3 big beers here. Down south they have Tiger beer, all kinds of shit collapsing around here, falling down. So Tiger beer's down south, but up here in the north, it's really Leo, Singha, and Chang. And in that order of quality, Chang is the worst, then Leo's better, and Singha is the premium beer around here. So I said, what do you drink? Oh, big. There's small, 300 milliliters, and there's big, right? So big Leo is like 600 milliliter, about, a pint, like 16 ounces roughly, the big Leo. So I went to the distributor and I bought 2 cases of Big Leo. Well, being expats, they're not going to pay 100 baht for a Big Leo because you can get that in 7-Eleven for 60 baht. So I even said, I'll give you guys a 10% discount, encouraging them to drink the beer I bought. They're like, no, fuck you. They ordered a grab food like Uber Eats, and to bring them beer from 7-Eleven because it's cheaper. So expats think like Thais, cheaper. Cheaper is better. In Thailand, it's all about money. It's all about saving money. So cheaper is better. They don't care about, well, I wouldn't say they don't care about quality, but they want quality. They want Big Leo as opposed to small Chang, but they want it cheap, right? Because the reason a lot of people move to Thailand, including me, is because it's cheap. So this restaurant was doing really well prior to COVID. There was, 40 million plus tourists a year coming to Thailand. Thailand's a tourist country, despite what the government's saying now, after COVID, and how they don't want to be a tourist country. They are a tourist company. They were a tourist country. So, and this restaurant and guest house absolutely needed, that. We were charging, 600 to 1,000 baht a night for the air-conditioned rooms. Thais would never pay that. Since COVID, the few times we've rented rooms has been for 300 baht for a fan room. Thais don't want to pay 600 to 1,000 baht for a hotel room. It's a ridiculous price to them, whereas it's cheap. 20 bucks to 30 bucks is cheap for an outsider, Farang. And Thais don't use AC because they're cheap. They don't want the big electric bill, so they want the fan room because that's what they're used to. And it's cheaper, 100 baht, 200 baht cheaper. So understanding that mentality, like I do now, a year later, I understand too well that this place was set up to fail without a steady stream of tourists. And I didn't understand that when I bought it in December. COVID wasn't a thing here in December. I guess it was in China, but nobody really knew about it, except the people in China, Wuhan at that point. So in short, I made a huge mistake buying a tourist-reliant business just when COVID started. Once again, I took over in April, and that's, I do what I say what I do. I read the positive action plan today, even though the restaurant's all torn apart. We basically had a fire sale yesterday, and I was up early and stayed up late, and I was fucking exhausted, and I was dirty. When they took the sink out, somebody bought the sink, and they fucked up the water, so if we turn on the water for our shower or to flush the toilet upstairs here, if we turn the water on, there's water gushing out behind the rooms. I don't know why that's happening, but they take a sink out and all of a sudden we got a water leak, a huge fucking water leak. So no, I had to go shower in a guest room today because that's 2 separate systems. The water from the guest room comes in from the street, walking street. I don't know why. And our water for the restaurant and this house is right there, down on the street here. So at least the guest house, and we had a guest. We had a Thai for 300 baht staying in room 6. So thank God the water didn't get fucked up for them because they were paying customers, and we were able to go shower in room 9, the quarantine room, my favorite room that I spent 2 weeks in when I got quarantined when I first got here in the end of March. So once again, now I can see with perfect vision, 2020 vision, that this place was a mistake. When I bought it in December, it was 1 time's earnings or less than 1 time's earnings. In other words, this place was making anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a month on average. So paying 13 grand for it was like I couldn't get the money here fast enough. COVID and the lockdown specifically, not letting outside people, which is our customer base, come in, it killed a ton of small businesses. Hostels, right? Backpackers can't come. Restaurants are all hurt, if not crippled. And it just wasn't a good situation for a lot of small businesses. So I'm stubborn and I'm persistent and optimistic. Those 3 things, right? I think that defines me as a person and as a businessman. So when COVID first happened in April, I said, it's going to get better. They're going to open the country up. They're not going to stay locked down forever. That's crazy. Okay. And throw in there the political situation here in Thailand and the political situation in America. There's a presidential election, so maybe the lockdown in certain states where it was done for political purposes and not necessarily for your safety. And that's proven because there's a new president now and they're opening up. They really could have opened up last year, much earlier than now. So here, what's happening was right after COVID in the summer, there were some protests against the government here. And it got ugly, and it was growing, it was building, there was more and more people showing up to these things, and it became an issue, it was a problem. So the lockdown was used to deter, discourage people getting together, because with the lockdown, it's illegal to get together in big groups. So that curtailed the demonstrations. So lift the lockdown, sure, but maybe the demonstrations come back. Nobody wants that around here. So I think that explains why a year later things are still, the way they are.
What?
Chai. Yeah, we got 2 days to pack, but I have to stop and pack right now. I got 2 boxes to pack. I don't have a lot of shit. Whatever. Anyway, so that's what happened is, the lockdown is still basically on there. People can come, but they got to be quarantined for 14 days. Nobody wants to deal with that. Now they have to get a vaccine. Nobody wants to deal with that. It's just a pain in the ass to come here, and as long as it's difficult, they're not going to come. People are scared to travel. They're afraid they're going to get COVID, whatever. So, the tourism industry in Thailand's dead. It's been dead for a year. So now that I have a year under my belt, I know what March is going to look like. Rent is due for 3 months in March. And I had a decision to make. And I decided that I wasn't going to pay 3 months rent and then 3 months rent again, because now, having been here for a year, I know what those seasons look like. So right now March and April are what they call burning season. The hill tribes surrounding the valley, Paisana Valley, burn the forest. They get rid of the leaves, so it's easier to find these mushrooms that the Chinese prize and like. So they make money burning the forest and harvesting mushrooms and selling it to middlemen, who then make a fortune selling it in China. It's all about money. It's always all about money. And meanwhile, the fires are so bad, the smoke comes, and it gets to the point where the air quality is bad for you to breathe. So people were wearing masks here long before COVID to filter out the smoke particles from the burning forest. So they call it the burning season. what wealthy Farang do is go to Vietnam or go to southern Thailand where they're not burning. They can't get these mushrooms. Kind of like harvesting truffles in Italy, up in the mountains. They use pigs to sniff out the truffles. Here, they burn the forest. And yeah, they can't breathe either, but they don't care. They're making money. Yeah, you got money, bot. So it's sad. I'm saddened by the love of money over people, over health, over everything. But it is what it is. It's the world. Everybody wants money. Even the people who have money just want more money. So. Anyway, I was subsidizing this place, which I was open about making these videos. I was putting my own money into pay the staff, keep things going, keep it open. And I had a decision to make, and knowing the next 6 to 7 months were going to be burning season, rainy season, where it literally rains every goddamn day. Remember Forrest Gump, where he said one day it started to rain and it rained for 4 months? He wasn't fucking kidding. That's Southeast Asia. We have a rainy season here where nobody comes out to eat because it's raining, pouring rain, all the parking lot flooded. I mean, when it rains like a mother for a long time, and it rains every day. So, ain't nobody want to see that. So burning season, and then the summer season where it's blistering hot, so hot that the old owner here told me, yeah, even Thais don't come out in this weather. They stay home and sit under the fan. The Farangs stay home, sit under the AC. Nobody comes out. It's 100 friggin' degrees out in the street. It's just hot. And so people you're not hungry, you don't want to eat. I've lost 35 pounds since I've been here because it's hot. You don't pig out like you do at home. In the colder weather, you hunker down and eat buffets and Golden Corral and all that shit. You just don't do that here. And so in between the burning season and the rainy season and the hot season, I would have to pay a lot more money for the staff, for the overhead, the internet, and the landlord. For 6 to 7 months, and then hope, not know for sure, but hope that the season will be better, that when we get to October, November, December, it's going to be better. Now remember, I hung in there this year hoping the season would at least break me even, and not only did that not happen, but I saw the gross go down every month. I'm like, but wait a minute, this is high season. This is the salvation. This is when you make all your money. They would make $5,000 a month prior to COVID in the high season. Nowhere. We went down to the point where in January the net was 14,000 baht, not enough to make payroll for 2 girls. I remember when I bought the place, I had 4. So we're down to 2 girls, and the payroll was more than our net after cost of goods sold, right? So it was a losing battle. It was getting worse. And I now know what the next 6 to 7 months are going to look like, and I no longer have faith that it will get better in October. I don't know for a fact it will. It might. I'm not willing to pay 7 months rent, overhead, and payroll to find out anymore. And part of that decision too also came from, I've mentioned on here how excited I am about going to Chiang Mai and starting these other businesses. Now I see that the 500,000 to 1 million baht I would have to put in this place to keep it open, the rest of this year to find out if season will be what it's supposed to be. I can make so much money with these other ventures. Now that I have an alternative, it just seems very dumb to me to keep pouring money into this thing on the hope that it will eventually make a return. And this is a long term, this is a buy and hold as opposed to a flip. And after a year of subsidizing this, I no longer want to hold it. It will get better. I just don't want to wait for that and keep pouring money into it until it does. So I decided to sell. She put an ad in Thai in a local Facebook group or something, and we were, Jesus Christ, 8 o'clock in the morning, they're banging on the doors and they're rummaging through this shit. It's kind of disgusting and gross, but whatever. So, long story short, am I ever going to get the money that I put into this place back? Fuck no, nowhere near it. But you know, I just sat downstairs with a chair, and the girls, and God bless the girls who work here, they're so awesome. They showed up even after she told them, you know, we were closing down. They showed up to help us sell stuff. And, you know, it's the almighty bot. I mean, Ty's watching this right now, just got a hard on, even the women, because it's the bot. It's the almighty 1,000 bot. Oh my God, it's 1,000 bot, 1,000 bot. I would kill for that. Okay. So, you know, I haven't counted it. I have no idea how much it was. I just sat in a chair and played with my phone and collected cash for shit I paid 400,000 baht for, 13 grand. I have no idea what I have. I'll count it up at some point. I'll put it in the bank probably today or the day after. This money has a way of disappearing from my pocket, if you know what I mean. You know, it is what it is. I'm getting something from it. But Nui and U, the two girls from Myanmar, were the ones who hung in there till the end with us. I love those two girls to death. They came yesterday, they worked their fucking asses off, knowing the shop was closing. You know, there was no more job fund. And I talked to them both and apologized and said, I'm so sorry. I mean, one of the main reasons I kept pouring money into this place was to keep them employed. And they're both like, don't worry about it. You're a good boss. We appreciate everything you did for us. I'm just like, you know, it's people like that. When you meet people like that in this world, it make it all worthwhile, you know. You know, the gratitude. They were grateful that I poured money into it for a year, as far from their perspective. They were happy to be employed, you know, for 2020. So what a great viewpoint, what a great way to be, you know, to think. Just great people. I love those two girls to death. They're awesome. And you know, speaking of businesses, Nui's boyfriend, who's Thai, his family manufactures an energy drink, and it's all natural. It doesn't have all the added sugar and fake caffeine, lab caffeine I call it, that Monster and Red Bull do. So he's actually talked to me in the last few days about, you know, repping that for him, you know, being a distributor maybe in America. So we got to go through the FDA and all that crap, but that's another one of my opportunities that I have now going forward that I didn't, you know, while I've been here. He just approached me the other day about it, and I'm going to do it. Yeah, not solely, obviously, but that will be a side hustle, which is, once again, guys, you can call me anything you want, but I am genuine in that I do what I say, right? Like I tell you, get a side hustle, I do side hustles, especially now, all the time. So I believe in them, they work, you know. And yeah, within a year, look for K-Man from Thailand, K-Man energy drink on the shelves. Of where you live. So anyway, that was my thinking. That's what happened to TTK. That's why I pulled the plug. I didn't see it getting any better. I know better now than I did in December 2019. COVID, due to the political things we talked about, the lockdown seemed to be sticking around. So, you know, because I can't say for certain things are going to get better in October, I see no point in pouring good money in after bad. And once again, especially because I know for a fact now, if I take that same money and invest it in businesses in Chiang Mai, cars, right, trucks, motorcycles, condos, that I can make money from that, you know, that I'm not going to just keep pouring money into a losing cause. And it will get better. Pi will recover. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be around to see it. On a personal note, am I much happier when I'm in Chiang Mai? Yes, you can tell that from all the videos I make. The choices of food, the supermarkets, the restaurants. I prefer Chiang Mai, and I'm not a city guy, but I'm definitely not a tourist town, mountain guy either. I find the lack of goods and services here disturbing. So just as a person, I'm much happier in Chiang Mai. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm really, is it not a great thing that this place is closing? Absolutely. But I am so happy on a personal level and a business level because the opportunities in Chiang Mai. I can make money there I don't want to say easily, but there's a lot more opportunities there. Let's put it that way. So that's it. It's like I said, this will be the last one from this apartment. The movers are coming today, and they're going to take the bed, wrap it up, and I'm going to put it in storage down in Chiang Mai. And then the condo that I am renting, D-condo, I'm going to sleep on the bed Monday night. And if I like it and it's comfortable, then I'll sell that bed. If it's not, then I'll go to storage with a truck, get that bed and swap it out and sleep on that bed. Because I do sleep well on that bed. It's a good bed. I paid 11,000 baht for it, whatever. So that's the plan. So we're gonna stay in the guest room. I showered today in the guest room because there's the plumbing here, the electric here, are just, mind-boggling. So we sold the sink. I did a video which I'll splice onto this, and you can see the empty TTK from what it used to look like. And when the person took the sink, they just put a rubber stopper in the water line, and it was leaking. So we turned off the water right there at the source on that line. Well, we fixed the leak by putting a plastic bag over it to slow it down so that we would be able to flush the toilets and use the shower. And when you turn the main water on out front, now there's like pipes coming up through which I've never seen before, like drain pipes coming up through the cement behind the rooms, and they're like, they're gurgling. The water's just pouring out on them, all of them, like down the whole stretch. Like, what the fuck? So at this point, when we're leaving for Chiang Mai Saturday or Sunday, there's no point in getting a plumber in here. It just, so we just kept the water off. So I showered last night and this morning in the mighty room 9, which was my quarantine room back in March. We stayed for 2 weeks in quarantine because of the stupid fucking COVID, which, if COVID was a person, I would have killed it by now. I absolutely would have destroyed it. The lives it's ruined is just unbelievable. And once again, it's the government doing lockdowns because of it, but obviously, if the disease never existed, it wouldn't have given the government the power to do what they've done, right? Which has ruined a lot of lives. Anyway, this is 27 minutes. I'm gonna cut it short, but that's it. I just wanted to talk about the restaurant closing, my decision, why I did it, and how excited I am to, Tuesday morning, I'll be doing my positive action plan, and I'll do a video on my condo in Chiang Mai. It's a D-condo Ping. Really happy with it, like it a lot, and looking forward to my new life, new beginning, new start, renaissance, rebirth. I'm excited. I can't help but be excited. This is sad, but I'm fired up. I'm optimistic. I'm looking forward to the future. So it is what it is, guys. Don't be sad. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy.